And welcome back to Real Ag Radio for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. And joining us right now is the Southern Alberta area agronomist for Pioneer Seeds Canada. It is Nicole Rasmussen. Nicole, how's it going?
Really good. Thanks for having me today, Shaun.
Yeah, great to chat with you. Okay, so what's happening right now? You're talking to a lot of customers. We're getting a little bit close. Southern Alberta, we're all this time of the year. We are always very close
Yes.
to seeding and planting. What have the conversations been like?
I think it's been very positive as of late. We've had some snow, there's some moisture. It looks like everything's really sinking in. I don't know, driving around the country, you don't see a lot of puddles. So it's just really been an uplift to spirits. And just a lot of interest from people talking corn and canola again and seeing some happier faces. So it's been a great last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just a little bit of wet snow in late
Mm-hmm.
March, early April, and it can kind of change the mood a little bit. Where it sort of installs a little bit of hope because this is an area in Southern Alberta. Depending on where you are, there's different contexts of dry, but over pretty dry by us for like 5 of 6 years. So this
Yeah.
this is an area that needs some relief outside of the irrigation zone.
Exactly. I think just to recharge that subsoil, right? Last couple of years, we've survived just on rain. There's been nothing in the soil really to sustain crops. So this was much needed. I don't know that it's going to help our irrigation farmers significantly, but it's going to help them get a crop started out of the ground as well. So just really positive discussions overall.
Yeah, and during the commercial break, you said something that really, really caught my attention that you're seeing more, even with some of that dryness, you're seeing more and more farmers consider and look at, well, could I do dryland corn?
Mhm.
Talk about this because that's kind of surprises me a little bit based on how dry it's been.
So kind of from two aspects, from our, forage side, grazing corn, silage corn, and dryland saved a lot of farmers the last few years, right? It takes a lot less water to make a kilogram of corn dry matter than it does even a cereal crop. So, through the drought, corn sustained a lot of our livestock producers surprisingly well. And I think going through what we did with that drought being so significant and corn still being able to keep its place has really told a positive story. And I think some of that's kind of crept into the dryland grain corn interest. We had a couple trials last year that did, you know, almost double in some cases the wheat yields beside that field of dryland grain corn. And as you know, Shaun, we're in Southern Alberta, there's an endless need for corn for feed for our feedlots. And so lots of guys getting really interested in adding that crop into the rotation. So we're getting lots of interest, and it's exciting, like I said, to have this moisture to start puts us off in a really good situation.
Yeah, one of the things those feed yards. So we've seen a real growth in the corn acre in Southern Alberta
Mhm.
for silage, of course, and it's that's been happening for a while, but it's definitely a much bigger acreage than it was, say, going back 15, 20 years ago for sure. Part of that is genetics. Also, part of that is learning. Farmers getting to know how to grow corn, right? And trying to get their knowledge up to speed with some of the other major corn growing areas in North America. But one of those other things that feedlots have also done is they've been putting in steam flakers.
Mhm.
And that's another added capital investment and not a cheap one, I might add.
Yes, it's
But
significant.
but it's significant, but there's also significant value too from a productivity standpoint in your feeding operation. That's also boosted the corn acre as well.
Exactly right. You have corn, which is a big seed that has a lot of energy in it. When you steam flake it, it's, effectively 100% digestible. And it's also, steam flakers primarily are put in for corn, but they're also seeing it really do great job with wheat as well. So you're seeing a lot more wheat going into some of these feedlots to backstop the corn. So it's all just feeding that, right? And I kind of feel like we'd maxed out silage acres for the feedlots over the last 5 years, we kind of got where we got, but this will really help drive a lot of the local grain interest and the need. Um, just to take some of the pressure off, folks shipping in rail cars,
Yeah.
or, that's not always simple, maybe harvest gap timing. So, like I said, endless opportunity for our local growers. And it's nice to have maybe another cropping option as well that does handle drought, significantly better, I think, than people realize. We've been doing a lot of corn schools, like teaching people, kind of some of the fundamentals to help them feel a lot more comfortable, trying a crop like this.
No, Nicole, there's going to be a pendulum, like a variable or a variance here. That everyone's not, equal of quality of farmer. But if I was going to plant grain corn on irrigation in Southern Alberta, what am I putting in as my budget? What are people using?
I think if you look at the seed from, let's just say for easy math, $100 an acre. then you want to look at nitrogen. It takes a little less nitrogen per bushel to produce a bushel of grain corn than it does a wheat. So we're going to pencil in about a pound of nitrogen per bushel. You can drop that even a little bit if you're like a very efficient applicator, but if we just pencil in, say, a pound a bushel, I'd like to say a pretty comfortable long-term average in Southern Alberta is going to be at least 165. Last year we flirted with 200 in a lot of places.
Wow.
So if it takes a lot less nitrogen too to grow it than you look at a lot of our standard crops. So, it's kind of just helping people realize that the seed's probably your bigger input, sure, but from a nutrient standpoint and a herbicide standpoint, we're very efficient users, and very, similar cost from that aspect. It seems like a lot because the yield potential is higher, but from a per bushel or per ton standpoint, it's very efficient and less than a lot of current crops.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing some of those numbers. That gets some people that maybe aren't growing corn and think about it and don't know some of those numbers. I think it sort of sheds some light for them, and maybe they'll think about it a little bit, some deeper thought
Yeah.
going forward. So, hey Nicole, thanks so much for joining us here today on the Farmer Rapid Fire. I wish you all the best. Good luck out there as we get a little. You're looking forward to this because you're going to actually be able to get out in the field here very, very soon. I know you like to be out in the field. So,
Gotcha.
thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Shaun.